Hello there. So we get to the juicy part of the debate tonight. I hope I will not take too long to review this part of the debate, but let's start. So we do have our debate. Let's watch.
Great question.
One of the things that we have to make in order to have life are polypeptides, where we take amino acids and these amino acids have to couple.
So, as someone else said, if you look at it, is taking a lot of time doing that. Why? He want to stun his opponent and to take time because he does not have a good case, in my opinion. Very clever.
And when they couple, it will form a dipeptide. This dipeptide is one of thousands and thousands and thousands that would have to form. If you were going to make a polypeptide, you need at least 100 of these for a very small polypeptide.
So that's a very interesting thing. Let's give me a second because I came prepared for it. So I did rewrite what he wrote on the board, and here we have. I'm not very good at it right now. I'm getting better. It's more easy on a real board. But if you look to these compounds, what you can see. He did bring a couple of very peculiar compounds. Why? If you look at those are acid compounds, basically. Those are organic acids. This group, all this group, all this group, okay, it's an organic acid. This group. This is basically ammonia. Why those compounds are problematic? Because you have two organic acid in this particular amino acid and two basic compounds, ammonia on this one. Why it's important? Because you can have this compound binding with this one, and in this case you get to a polypeptide, but those groups can bind with this compound, can bind with this one in the same molecule too. At this point you will have a mess. And it's true. If you do the reaction without any catalysis, you will get a mess. It's really important for the prebiotic curve. I think it's not. Let's be clear. That's just a part of those kind of reactions. And these amino acids are relevant now for us, but we do not know what kind of proteins and amino acid were there when abigenesis was a thing. So it was very clever to bring up those compounds in particular, because it's very hard to prove how you make this kind of reaction on a board. Why? Because you need some kind of catalytic compound to protect those groups. You need to deactivate those compounds. Usually, when we do it inside a living being, you have some kind of enzyme. So a protein selected for this job. When you do not have that protein, you need to do a catalysis. So much of the same thing, something that shape or protect, shape the molecule or protect those groups. Or you do some kind of reaction to deactivate those groups, maybe to do a substitution or things like that. And Tour is like, yes, those kind of things cannot happen in nature. It's not really true. Autocatalytic reaction are a thing, and we will see an example brought by Dave in a moment. But it's almost impossible to give an answer on a board like that. What I can show you, well, if you see, the compounds are very, very similar. If you look at them, this part is the same, and then you have an entire structure that's different. Those structures are very bad for a reaction without any kind of catalysis, but that's just a part of these compounds. If I take those parts and I basically cancel them, I will get basically to the same compound. Now, what can we do at this point? We need just to put something like, an hair here. At this point, we have not the same compound, because this symbol can represent basically any kind of things, like the two compounds we were looking in some minutes ago. But the problem is, in this R, you can have almost anything. maybe even an hydrogen. And those kind of compounds will do the coupling, the reaction. It's a condensation. Also, maybe I'm wrong, but Tour did something wrong in his representation, because if you have coupling, if this group reacts with this one, you will get a polypeptide and water. It's a condensation, and I did not see the water on the board, so it was a mistake on Tour's part, maybe. That was quite funny for me. Maybe I was wrong, and I did get that wrong, but that's a condensation, and you will get, of course, this compound reacting with this, so we get a bond and water, basically. Yes. So at that point, with this oxygen, at that point you will get water and the polypeptide. It's not a reaction that can. The one brought by Tour is a problem, but you do not need that specific reaction to get polypeptides. Remember that. And I think it's not really a good thing for Tour to speak about these things. Dave is right on that. Tour is doing it on purpose. He did find a specific reaction that was problematic, and he put it on the board, knowing that Dave will be on the ropes, because it's not easy to get an answer just like that when we are talking about chemistry. I think it was on purpose, very clever from Tour, and it's not like it's an impossible reaction. You need some catalysis, but even if in the prebiotic curve you will not get that specific reaction, you can have others. And as you maybe know, you can then get a selection, not natural selection, because life is not part of abiogenesis, unless at the end, of course, you are at the end, but you can still get selection, even if it's not natural selection. Let's get down to business. And I hope to be clear, Tour did choose those compounds on purpose. And they are not the only ones. You have a bunch, and I can show you. So just a second. Okay. Here you can see the 20 fundamental amino acids. Some does have compounds that can react, of course, but others do not. So look there. not every amino acid is problematic. So Tour is picking up whatever does help him with this narrative, basically. And that's a problem.
Peptide. Mr. Farina, show me the prebiotic chemistry that would do this coupling. Be my guest.
Okay. Yeah, I don't need the board. So this is my second prompt. So I guess we'll circle back to this. But yeah, you keep going. Show me the references in your content. But so you're missing a mountain of research, literally a mountain of research that demonstrates this.
So here, Dave was taken. Basically, he is not in a good place. He showing that he cannot give a response on the fly, and he will talk about some good things, but he does rely too much, in my opinion, on the papers. You need to explain at least a little what's going on.
Here's one. Condensation of amino acids to form peptides in aqueous solution. So we've got sulfur 4, oxidative mono. Carbonyl sulfide mediated prebiotic formation of peptides. There's another one.
That does not do it, and the two you showed do not do it. This is called asparagine. DK. They do not do it with these.
Okay, so what is Lehman?
Look at that. Those compounds are called in this way or in that way. Yes, we can read it. So what? It's not like you need those specific amino acid to react. It's trying to imply that Dave is not knowledgeable enough on the topic, and Dave is quite on the ropes. It's not in a good place.
Lehman's a fraud. Gadiri's a fraud. Are you calling them a fraud? They published a paper, carbonyl sulfide mediated prebiotic formation of peptides. So if you're saying they didn't do that,
show me the example in there. I studied this. I looked over every paper you put up.
Have never studied anything in this area. Are you kidding me? All you do is go, show me the papers, and then I show you papers. Here, let's see if I can find that one exactly.
Yeah, show me the one exactly that does this in a prebiotic fashion. Show me. It's not there.
My response will be, why this specific reaction? Let's do the generic one. That one works. Why this specific one?
Okay.
I'm asking you to come up and show me the chemistry.
James, I don't need to write on the board. I brought actual papers. This is actual research.
Okay, show me the paper. Show me in that paper this example. This is called.
This is the one you wanted, James.
Aspartic acid.
James.
This is called lysine.
James, look. This is the Gadiri paper. Here's the scheme. You want to go through that?
But
aqueous, room temperature, you get oligopeptides. Okay, and it jumps to 80% yield with prebiotic oxidizing agents.
But not with this, because what happened?
So I do have this scheme here. I hope you all can, maybe I can. Sorry. I did remove my audio. Look at this. It's quite a complex diagram. And I think that's one of the problem with Dave. This is a very good example. It does show a more generic reaction. If you look at this, you can see that you have those groups, R groups, that are generic. That's a good idea. That's a generic reaction, does work, and is, for what I can understand, even auto-selective, autocatalytic, because it's a circle. You go to compound until you get amino acids. Basically, you have these compounds, it will react, and then it can go back and forth. Those two arrows are saying that this compound can react to get this and can react from this to this. It's an equilibrium. All those are equilibriums, so they can go back and forth. But you get to a point where you get amino acids, and those are not equilibriums. So as soon you get there, you will just go on. It's quite a complex diagram, and that's a problem to explain to the people all this work. And I think that Dave was not up to the task. The important part is this is our generic reaction, does work in aqueous solution, and the most important thing, does work on a generic amino acid. The specific one does get some problem, but you have a bunch of those. And at the beginning of life, you will have different proteins, maybe different composition of the proteins. And it's not that important. As soon you get to any kind of selection, things will go on from that point. So Dave is right. The problem is you cannot put a picture like this on in a debate and pretend that the people in the audience will understand it. It's quite complex. All those compounds go back and forth. They will have some kind of constant between them. It's quite complex. I do not think that some people can just look at it and get what's happening there. I think not. Let me know in the comments if someone wants to. If you people are able to understand something like that, if I need to explain a little bit more. That's a good example. I think it was way too complex for the people in the audience to understand.
Is this would participate. This is
Oh,
going
you want to do the side chain thing? Okay, well, we got research for that too.
Of course, I'm speaking to the side chain. This is not
There you
glycine.
go.
That's not
Regioselective-
prebiotically relevant. That has
not
nothing to do
prebiotically
with
relevant.
prebiotics.
Okay, how about this one?
That sulfur compound was made separately in dichloromethane using HOBT, which is a coupling agent designed by human beings.
So Tour was well prepared for this topic. He did read the papers brought by Dave, and he did respond. I bet that yes, the catalytic compound was made in a lab. The problem is can be found in nature, and you can find something like that in nature. I don't know, but I bet it will be possible. But to my understanding, it's not a problem. You can get those compounds later. Why you need all those amino acids inside the proteins from the start? You do not need to. A protein is a oligopeptide, and they can be any kind of oligopeptides. You do not need to have specific ones.
For solid phase synthesis, that's how they make
Are you
the
saying
products.
sulfur is not available prebiotically? It doesn't matter what solvent they use.
No, HOBT was the compound, that SH compound that you just showed was made in a separate reaction. That was in a separate reaction, and he describes that.
Okay.
Well, there were a lot of things happen in nature, so you can get a compound even in nature, unless you show me that's impossible to get those kind of compounds. You do not need even that specific one. You just need to have a compound able to do the same thing, and you need to show me that's impossible to get in nature.
I can show you in the paper.
Thank you. If you don't like that one, how about this Pounder one? Pounder.
So if you don't like that, you are conceding a point. I will say to or you can show me that those kind of compounds are impossible to get in nature, but even if they are, you need all those components of the protein to be there from the start. I think not. Those will be my response. And I know that I'm not that good in English. I will need a lot to prepare for a debate like that because I'm not that good. But I will answer something like that. Let me know if someone is watching this video, if you think that are good ideas or not.
Jax, regioselective peptide formation. Acylated aminonitrile. Wait, hold on. I got the scheme here.
It's not in there. You're going to look and look. It's not in there. I studied every one of your papers. Pounder doesn't even use amino acids. He uses an
aminonitrile.
aminonitrile.
That's a totally different
not
paper.
amino acid.
James, that's not the same paper. You're
No,
talking about it.
It did not put the water in it. That's a mistake, too.
there is no
Look, he got coupling with lysine, regioselective lysine ligation, the most selective peptide ligation that tolerates all proteinogenic side chains.
But
He did this
does not do
all
an
side
amino acid coupling. He's got
What are you talking about? Prebiotic catalytic peptide ligation.
There's no amino acids there.
Yes, there's amino acids.
Go to the equation of that.
I
Go to the equation of
don't
that.
have that one. But you're just lying. You're also shifting the goalposts, though. Because by the way, you pretend that there are no papers that show any peptide formation in water. I just showed you a ton. You're shifting the goalposts by complaining.
So that's just bickering, and I do not think that people are understanding a thing that they are saying.
How am I shifting the goalposts? These are the ones you've got to do. If you can't do it with these active side chains. You cannot.
But he did.
Pounder didn't do it with the active side chains.
You cannot unless you have some kind of catalysis, and you need to show me that's impossible to have that. Also, why you need those specific compounds to react to create the peptides. Sorry.
Used an aminonitrile.
Okay,
There are no amino
no,
acids.
James, you're talking about a completely different paper. Peptide ligation by chemoselective aminonitrile coupling in water.
That's an
different.
aminonitrile. It's
That is a
aminonitrile.
different
It's
paper.
not amino acids.
I know that.
So even there, reading the titles and things like that, just explain why is wrong, and you need to explain it to the public, because I think that any chemist knows that Tour is wrong, but most of the public is not a chemist. That's the problem.
It's a different paper. He takes amino acids. This is just a different. He's not going through peptide bond formation. It's a different, right? So you have peptides. You have amino acids condensing. That's peptide formation. He's figuring out a different synthetic pathway that doesn't do coupling, but it doesn't matter. There's a million of these.
Yes, it's a condensation, and if I will be there, I will be doing a job to saying like, that's a condensation. Where is the water? It did that reaction brought by Tour is in fact wrong. There is no water. The formation of a polypeptide and water. Where is the water?
Right, condensation by wet-dry cycling. Chemoselective
Nobody
amino
has
nitrile
done this.
coupling.
I'm asking you, Spur, for a specific reaction because half of the amino acids have active side chains. And these guys play this game of not including these ones that have carboxylic acids, not including the ones that have amines.
This is an
You can't do this coupling.
acylated aminonitrile plus unprotected amino
You can do it if you protect those sites.
acid, hydrolyzed the pH7
Right,
formamide
which
peptide.
amino acids? Hydroxylated ones, never carboxylated, never deaminated.
All proteinogenic side chains. All
From
protein-
aminonitriles.
James, I'm telling you, he did this with lysine. Okay, so the side chain thing is not a problem. So forget the fact that you can't handle that. Right, that peptide formation in water happens and has been demonstrated.
It can, and it was demonstrated. The paper was showing that, in fact. He is right on that.
By about a dozen of these papers that I've shown you.
Only
Now
with
you're
an
talking-
activator, as you said in your second series.
Yeah, chemical
your first
activator.
series,
Prebiotically plausible
your
chemical
first
activator.
series, you never said this. With an activator, you're not coupling
what?
for the amino acids.
Okay,
Yes, I
we've
am.
reached
You're
the
not
end.
coupling.
We've
Carbonyl
reached the end of the
sulfide.
5 minutes. Now, yeah.
Yeah, we'll get back to the peptides
So-
in a second because that was my second.
Sorry if I skipped a little bit, but it was not relevant.
Prompt, but let me. 1 minute. Okay.
Not good.
We'll continue looking at research in a moment, but first, I can't resist confronting James about some of these lies he's been telling. So let's listen to him get this.
Let's speak about the chemistry. Do not attack Tour anymore. And I know that he will a lot.
Answers. So first, the textbook thing. Primordial soup model is lightning, and then a slithering creature crawls out, and that's what all these college-level textbooks say. Again, no, they don't. He made that up, like a liar. Next, this boutique field of a dozen researchers thing. Of the millions of papers that comprise this field, I went through a handful of the ones I've read and made this list. There are thousands more. Pretty dumb lie, huh?
I do not care about those lies. And he goes on and on that.
Does that text? No. Go back to my slide. Go back to my slide. There.
Yeah.
Go back.
No, this
No.
is
Go one forward. You show the text. All right. Now don't change it. Now, which textbook were you referring? Because I said right there, it says miniature C, prebiotic soup. Those are quotes from 8.
So basically, this part of the round is all about Tour and lying.
One of
And
those
do they
books is
show
in there.
molecules forming a slithering creature? No, they don't, because that's a lie. And you're not going to run out the clock. How about the dozen people thing? Does that look like a dozen people to you?
What I meant by that, the number of people that are doing
Again, they are not a dozen. They are much more people. But why it's relevant? I do not like this strategy from Dave. You need to respond to Tour. I can get that relevant that he is lying about some of those things, but you cannot waste your entire time doing so. Get down to business, and you can throw a jab or two to Tour, of course. Hi, nice to see you. What's up? I'm trying to get to the end of the first round. I do not like the style of Dave. I think he did some mistakes here.
Doing the complex organic Sutherland powder type synthesis. This is exactly what Benner told you.
No.
Benner told you
People
that
all
it's
over
a
the world.
very
Benner
small.
told me. I have
No,
hundreds of
Benner
papers.
told you on the video that there's a small number of people that are still doing the Sutherland type of complex synthesis. He says most of the area is not doing that
It's a
anymore.
boutique community. It's a small number of people. It's a dozen people.
It was in reference to.
Io sono Micia, non so chi tu sia, però il piacere di averti nello stream. Immagino tu sia italiana dal nome, e sto parlando di questo dibattito tra un chimico chiamato James Tour, un creazionista, quindi crede che praticamente la biogenesi, la transizione tra molecole organiche e vita non sia mai avvenuta, ma sia stata messa in atto da una divinità. L'altra persona, che è Dave Farina, è dell'opinione opposta, e sto facendo una recensione del dibattito.
To the number of people that are doing the complex Sutherland type
The
synthesis.
origin of life community. The origin of life community. You're talking about the field in general. How about the Bruce thing? This was pretty dumb, right? He just took one of the guy's videos and stuck it
Because
in.
when I contacted Bruce, Bruce said to me, I don't even know what you're talking about. I was unaware
Dave
of
asked
this.
me
He
to
said it in
comment on
the
some
email.
of your
You're not showing the whole email.
and specifically about what we are doing.
As I said, it's not relevant. Talk about chemistry. I get it. Thor does lie. Okay. No, now we can talk about chemistry.
And does this show?
No, why don't you show the page? Why don't you show the page where he said, I had no idea that this is there. Look, I published the whole email.
Yeah,
you're only
and here
showing
he
the
says
one.
that I asked for
No,
the
but
video,
then
and he's talking about you. And then here you go.
No, you don't want to show the one where he
just took
said,
one of the guy's
I had
videos.
no idea.
I think you should
You're
apologize.
not gonna address anything on mine.
This was pretty. This was a pretty dumb
Let's try
lie.
to have a dialogue instead of people shouting at each other. So
Fair enough. They are shooting at each other. It's not a debate. It's a dumpster fire. Maybe someone does like a good dumpster fire. I do not. But okay.
I think an apology is in order for this lie, James.
Okay. I hope he will make a point right now. I really hope so.
Pretty dumb lie. Pretty dumb lie to tell.
Good way to waste time, anyway.
I think we can all agree that we are establishing the pathological nature of it.
I do not like this part. And look, Dave, I'm a nobody. You are way better than me. You know more than me in chemistry, but I can tell you something. I do not think that you will ever see this video. But why? Why you are calling Tour a pathological liar? If you can show that Tour is lying about something, and I think that in some cases you can, I think at least one here is saying that life needs to get a cell in abiogenesis it's not true. You do not need that. You do have a life without a cell. So that's not true. You can say that's a mistake, but either Tour is competent on the topic and he seems not like a fool, or is lying. What's what's the case here? I think that Tour is lying. Sorry, you can lie without ill intent. I do not want to insult Tour, but I think that he is very smart and he knows a lot. And when I see mistakes like that, not riding the water is not a big thing. It was not something that he did on purpose, I think. But when I see something like that, to get to a cell for abiogenesis, that's a little bit too much for someone as smart as Tour. But why you need to to tell the public that he is not just a liar? We all are liars, more or less. No one can tell always the truth. Maybe Tour is doing it for a good reason from his perspective. Maybe he does even believe in what he's saying. But to call someone a pathological liar is a little bit too much. A little bit too much. He did lie about something. Okay, you show him that's a lie. Why you told a lie? Maybe it was a mistake. Explain me why. I show you that that's a lie, and I give you some time to defend yourself. To say that you are a pathological liar, it's a little bit too much, in my opinion. Tell me maybe in the comments if someone will see this video, if I'm overreacting or not. But when I hear something like that, I think it's too much. I can get it. Tour is lying. Tour is attacking Dave in a clever way, more clever than what's doing Dave. But you are there to debate him. If you think that's just a pathological liar, why you are there debating him? Someone tell me in the thought in the comments if I don't know. I think it's too much.
Is lying. Well, then you're blind.
We are not here to hear you making jokes. I can get some jokes, but I mean one, and I think it's not adding anything to the topic. You are wasting time in a debate where the time is precious.
He just took one of the guy's videos and stuck it in.
That's mocking, and I can get it. He did a bad thing. Okay, you can show it. But do not mock your opponent. If you are there to debate him, does it mean that you are giving him some respect? I cannot debate someone if I want to go there and just mock him. maybe that's just me, and I can get it. Some people that I've debated maybe are not good people, but if you go to a channel to debate someone on something, you need to debate that topic. The person debating you maybe is not a good person, but I'm not there to discuss their behavior. I'm there to confront their ideas. That's what I think, at least. Um, that's what I do.
Let's go back to we have 1 minute and 11 seconds left. 8 seconds.
Yes, they wasted a lot of time, and I think that's quite smart in the case of Tour, because let's be real, he needed to waste time. Any second not wasted is a second that Dave can use to bring some topic that Tour will be not able to explain. Just think if Dave used this time to explain the reaction, explain that we have a bunch of amino acids, because we always talk about the 20 ones that we use, but they are not the only ones. We have a bunch. Why Tour is looking at those specific ones? Because they are the worst ones for that kind of reaction. That's not something done in a good faith. Okay? And I think that they will be fared much better saying to the people, yes, I'll explain those kind of reaction and why what Tour is saying is not a problem. That will be a much better way to conduct this debate, in my opinion, at least.
Well, it doesn't sound like I'm going to get an
11
apology.
seconds.
James.
Okay, as far as this, he says that I called Jack Sostek a liar.
Yeah.
I did. And Jack Sostek sent me an email. He said, you were pretty hard on me in that talk. And I...
Very good play, Mr. Tour. Sorry, Dr. Tour. How to waste time. We have a minute, and so I'll take the occasion to defend myself, and it's right to do so. It was attacked, and I'll waste time. Very clever.
I said, Jack, I'd like to call you to apologize because I was wrong to do that. I said, give me your number. He gave me his number. I called him. We spoke about this. He said to me, Jim, if you would join us in this origin of life research, we would get this thing solved. We had a very
Why
good
did you say
conversation.
this was the
You
nature of it?
totally made that up. Because if you had spoken to Jack Sostek, nobody made me apologize to him. I offered him my apology,
Let
and
me
he
show you the
accepted it.
primary literature, the journal Nature.
And I
This is the
apologized
journal
to
Nature.
him.
And but you continue to call his work.
Again, you're wasting time.
Utterly, no, what did you call it? Ridiculous, utterly ridiculous.
Yeah, it is utterly ridiculous.
Yeah, but
when
it's
he
not,
says he's
because-
going to have life in his lab in 3 to 5 years in 2014, and now he says, I can't even make the
Yeah, who
RNAs.
cares? Who cares? You lied about this. Look, the structures are.
Oh, no. That slide, you can speak to Jack Sostek. He said to me, Jim, that slide was not well done. That was a copy from another article in Scientific
And your
American.
structures are
No,
correct.
Jack agrees with me. That was poorly done. There's no stereochemistry on that sugar. When there's no stereochemistry
Okay, I'm
It's
gonna
not
call,
biblical.
I'm gonna call it
There's
close
no
to
spirit
this part of
chemistry,
the
not biblical.
session. Let's move on.
Okay, and we will continue. We will see the other round next time. A little bit, 20 minutes of questions. So yeah, the next one will be quite long, I think, but we will get there. My opinion on this round, well played from Tour. Dave was not on on topic, and he was not sure about the chemistry. I can get that, but if you are doing a debate, study the chemistry. It's quite important to do so when you have on the other side someone like Tour. I think that, and I said it many times. I think that Dave was ill prepared. Tour is not a fool, and is quite good at this job. I'll leave you here, almost an hour of stream, and let me know anything. As you can see, I'm not very good at it. I'm not a YouTuber. I'm doing it for fun. I love to talk about these topics, to give my 2 cents on this particular debate, and I want to improve. So if you want to help me, let me know. Even if you need to say not nice things to about my videos, I do not care, because I know that I'm not really good at it. I need to improve. So if someone wants to tell me what to do, what to improve, I will be very grateful for it. I bid you all a good night. I do not know if someone will see this video sooner or later. Right now is literally the middle of the night here in Italy, and have a good day or night.